heck was
is that I'm on a light ship, and the beings that were blue glowing beings, and this is why I felt like I was being like groomed, sort of, because they were.
Alrighty, let's do this.
Are you calling about a bear?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, it's on the tower pole.
Yeah, it's alive.
I can tell you what that is right there. That's black mold. It finally came alive on your ass, huh?
I never saw these until about maybe 3 years ago, and now every bunker has one.
And welcome back to the Codex Files. Thanks for tapping in. And tonight we're digging into crazy conspiracies. So do me the biggest favor and hit and smash the like button for me. Smash the subscribe button and join the family if you like videos like this.
The phenomenon is highly deceptive, and it evolves according to our awareness of it. It evolves in order to evade. One of my earliest cases of abduction included an adult woman who, when they began to take her, they would just show up in a room at nighttime as her favorite cartoon characters. That was the interface it chose to interact with her. Later on, she wasn't abducted for like 2 or 3 years, but that was when she hit puberty, shot up in height, she stopped watching cartoons, she got into literature. One night, she feels this intelligent electricity manifesting in her room, and then here comes that little short cartoon character. Now here's what's fascinating is she's like, now I'm like a foot taller than them, and I'm realizing there's no way you're a cartoon character. When that took place, its eyes got big, looked right into her eyes. She said that it was measuring my belief in its mass. So, okay, is it 60% or is it 10? Because if it's 10, what it does, and then it's now I got to manifest as something else to you.
If I'm not mistaken, that looks exactly like an angel. Just taking a walk today. I look up in the sky over the local cemetery. Boom. Humongous angel in the sky. Humongous. I mean, look at this thing. Gigantic. Looks like the Archangel Michael protecting the cemetery. This is crazy. And this is like this is wow.
I know. I'm on Highway 56.
Are you calling about a bear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on the tower pole.
Yeah, it's alive.
Yes, yes. Just leave it be.
Okay.
And because I already called the Game and Fish, and they said there's nothing that they could do. They could go and shoot it, like tranquilize it to get it down, but it's gonna end up, if they do that, then it's gonna fall and could hurt itself. So they told me that.
A story about why Jehovah's Witness will not get blood transfusions. And she said the reason why we don't get blood transfusions is because we believe that the soul dwells in the blood. And if you get a blood transfusion, someone else's soul is coming into you.
Well, that's a fact.
But that's the truth.
That is the truth.
Scientifically, that is the truth. Now, whether or not you want that person's soul is your decision. But that's why they forbid. They would rather have someone die than have a blood transfusion.
That's why societies, when people talk about court societies and the drinking of blood and their ritualistic practices, and whether people don't know about it, everybody believes it's true. Because, you know, today, if you ask that person, hey, this person is a sadistic psycho and we're going to use them for your blood transfusion, man, person like, I will wait. You believe that there's something inside this blood, which is information.
That's right.
Right? The information of who that person is inside this blood.
Yeah.
And now you are going to connect that to you and who you are.
And that person becomes a part of it.
It becomes a part of you.
Yo, so you ever heard about the Edith Smith mystery?
Edith Smith.
Sounds familiar though, right?
Kinda, yeah.
So there's this woman. This is the first time ever that somebody's been arrested for not murdering someone, but just predicting the future.
What?
Now check this out.
Predicting the future.
So there's this woman named Etta Smith.
Yeah.
And one day she went to the police station and she said, hey, I know where these bodies are. I know where the missing body is. I can take you there. And then they're looking at her like, are you crazy?
Just a random case.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. She's just at the police station. She goes, are you crazy? Like, what's going on? Like, sure, we'll look into it. Like, give us the address, blah, blah. Yeah. And they're wondering, okay, she's probably either the murderer, crazy as fuck, or somehow connected. How does she know? This is what happens. She leaves for like 2 hours. She comes back and she goes, hey, so remember what I said I found the body? I drove out there with my kids and my kid found the body. And the police officer's looking at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, okay, obviously, in his head, he's like, okay, obviously she's the murderer.
Yeah, it's obvious.
So what they did, they went out to the spot and they literally found the body exactly where she said. So what happens, she gets arrested. So Etta Smith is in jail. Now the thing is, there's no evidence of her killing her, killing the victim. There's no evidence of her being a part of the crime at all.
What the fuck? So
the
why is she
only
there?
connection that she has was knowing where the body is and her being able to find the body. Okay. Now this is where it gets crazy.
Yeah.
They sent in a fake cellmate to go into her jail cell and talk to her. So it was actually just someone trying to get information.
Yeah, that's smart.
Mm-hmm. She sat down and then she started talking. Now they became like kind of close and she was able to spill some beans. And they asked her questions that tried to incriminate her, but the information they got was even more wild. Right. So what Etta ended up telling them.
That killer bunny had the perfect form.
Our Gnostic mother Sophia gave birth to the demiurgos Yaldabaoth, which equates to the sun giving birth to planets and plasma making its own dust in laboratories. As the ancient texts say, she hid him in a luminous cloud. That is our physical reality as a boundary, not a border. Yaldabaoth found himself alone and thus, assuming godhood, created from ignorance an entire street gang of archons. Despite spiritual ignorance, these beings were cosmically intelligent and armed with the celestial mathematics to create harmony and life. Human beings began to solidify from spirit within this system. This was considered a miracle. Sophia, being dimensionally suited to see from above the labyrinth, looked in with pity and imbued these new humans with her very soul, called wisdom in the ancient texts. Humans are now half pleromic God, separating us from all other creatures. Now divine yet vulnerable, we were sent angels to keep an eye out as watchers. The archons became enormously jealous of the literally creative human spark and wanted it for themselves. They concocted a plan to deviate from universal law. They augmented planetary bodies, including the moon, like a technician would augment a circuit board, that would electromagnetically impose a limited reality onto the minds of all beings within the orbit of Saturn, the demiurgos, and focused that spiritual tech into human people through the entangled medium that is essential to all biological life, water, enforcing control of perception through gravity, the moon, and amnesia through recycling, like wiping the information from a cell phone. They entered themselves into flesh avatars to snip our DNA down to inhibit our eyes to see them, and in the process found the human women irresistible to their flesh avatars and broke some major cosmic rules. But here's the thing about evil, it lies. The familiar axiom goes, Satan was new to him. Satan called himself God. Likewise, the archons called themselves angels. To get away with treachery against the potentially powerful humans, they claimed to be the Watchers. Big shout out to Cassie Fox for locking that one down. And to this day, As we are sleepwalking, the deceptive archons feed on the divine spark that was rightfully inherited by human people, who, if they so choose, can wake from their slumber and are under no obligation to be the same beings they were 5 minutes ago. All they have to do is remember.
For more on this, see the full episode available below.
I think I need to grab another shower right now.
We've been talking about astral projection, leaving your body, okay? There's tens of millions, you said, practicing it all over the world, okay? You mentioned the military, that they've been practicing it for a long time. What does astral projection have to do with the end times of persecution of Christians? Or does it? And if it does, how does it fit in?
Well, I think that, again, the counterfeit. The other side has counterfeit. Now, I'll take this to, and I asked somebody last night, have you ever heard a sermon on the troops of Antichrist? The largest, strongest, most powerful, most equipped military is being built in the shadows right now. The scripture shows that it'll become the biggest force when the new age, the new world order stuff comes, the Luciferian order.
Right.
The Antichrist can do nothing without that. They have to have the soldiers to bring the chaos all the way to Armageddon, Revelation 19:19. The Antichrist is out there, kings of the earth, and the armies, plural, globally, millions upon millions. Now, here's what it teaches about it. They're going to be the most supernaturally enhanced.
Right.
So when we talk about astral projection, you cannot do that without being supernaturally enhanced.
Right.
So when we look at 100 million satanic ritually abused worldwide, all stemming from the Nazi agenda of a master race, of augmented or hybrid individuals, they're all trained to do astral projection, let alone other powers they've been given.
Oh, wow.
To fight, to engage, to release curses, to invade hearts and minds, to search out Christians, to bring them, to find them, to remote them and bring them down.
You and I have done many shows on program multiples, SRAs. Are you telling me that a lot of these program multiples and victims of SRAs have been programmed and designed for astral projection, so when this comes about, that's part of their job?
Absolutely. And I told one story and I think I answered the story at one military story. A Fort Bragg Psi warrior. We engaged for 7 years. We heard about this back in the 90s. I knew about it already. I mean, we engaged on the occult side. When I got saved, I renounced all things. There was just a complete cleansing out of all those things, burning all the occult stuff. So I left that world and the fullness and power and of the Spirit of God. So we have a Psi warrior. They would call themselves a satanic chosen one, a real soldier. Now all SRAs, when you really get down inside to programmed cult loyal personalities, they will all acknowledge we're here to bring in the chaos. We're here to serve the Antichrist.
Wow.
Even in England, when I met the top guy just a few months ago, the top guy working with SRA, first question I said, why are they here? Immediately, and I've never met this man in my life, immediately, they're here to bring England down. They're here to bring in a new order and help the Antichrist.
Wow.
So,
and this is recently?
This is just a few months ago when I went to Scotland.
So you believe now they're going to be making the move at any time? In other words, the stage is set.
Sure.
Stage is set. Before you and I really started interviewing, getting into all this, you think about persecution of Christians and end times, but very few people think about astral projection, how they project their spirits out of their body.
Sure.
And there's a war like that.
There's a war like that.
Okay, so my question is, when they do project themselves out of the body, because you talk about program multiples being programmed for that, they project themselves out of their body, and how can that come against a true believer?
Sure. The first experience I had was way in the 90s as a Psi warrior from Fort Bragg, highly trained, high-level program multiple, all that kind of stuff. Most powerful one I've ever met. So
what we're dealing with in the abduction phenomenon is the end result of projected consciousness of conjurers. General McCaslin, he was one of the advisors to the whole Secret Machines series. Their theory was that a ceremonial magician in another dimension is projecting his consciousness into this dimension, and we're perceiving it as a UFO or a UAP. I have family members that worked at Right Path. One of them still does. One of them told me that they witnessed a craft hovering above the Right Path Air Force Base. It was a projection of something. So they said we could actually see as it just kind of retracted back into a building at the Right Path Air Force Base. I think our government's classified consciousness. A lot of what we're seeing, it's some kind of projection.
These musicians, when they go to a witch doctor, the witch doctor will tell them, for you to become famous, these are the things you must do. And the witch doctor will refer you to their master. They will lead you. Just as I was led. Remember, mine began with the burial, a simple burial.
Yes.
And then I found myself in the other side, underground. So when I was in underground there, now I was face to face with Lucifer. There now you don't have any condition, you don't have any complete, there's nothing you can do. You're already gone. You're with the master. Just as, but one thing, Lucifer, when you go to him, they will first make things look nice for you. Now, for me, when I went the other side, Andy went and told Lucifer, Master, what you have sent me to do on earth, I have delivered him. I have brought him. He didn't call the name Lucifer. He said, Master.
Master, yes.
Yeah. He said, Master, what you sent me to do on earth, I have already brought him. So for these musicians, if they go to a witch doctor will initiate them. That is the first step.
Yes.
You have already given some opening. You have given permission to allow them come into you. Now these musicians, when they come back here to perform, remember, the devil does not give gifting. They have to steal to give you.
To give, yes.
So they will send you. That's why they have shows. That is why they perform some rituals and they identify stars. They look at stars. They may look at you and they be like, hey, you guys, you have a lot of life. Be careful of people who tell you have a lot of life, because an ordinary person cannot measure life. It's only God that tells how we are blessed. So they will steal your star and they will possess you. They are using your inheritance, your star, your blessing. So now when you are being prayed for deliverance, they will have to manifest, because you are taking your belonging, your stars back. So they will also have to fight back. They have to struggle to protect it. Yeah. Now, during my training, when I would get out of my body and I would go back the other side, I would see what's the prophets, the so-called the prophets.
Those false prophets.
Yeah, those false prophets. How they steal blessings and how they instead enter your body and they begin to control you. When I would get a girl and I would sleep with her, the person will be thinking, I am just sleeping with her. It's them having sexual intercourse with me. But it's not me. It's a spirit sleeping with you. Now, if I'm to sleep with you, that spirit will enter in you. I am the person who transported that spirit to you. So now, when you're being prayed for, like for deliverance or what, the thing will manifest as it is me that took it. Now, when you look at musicians, most of musicians, they go to witch doctor when they know. They go when they know, because God gives gift.
Yes.
The devil does not give any gifting. For him, he steal and he give it to another person.
Alrighty, let's do this. Red. Ooh. The lights. Nice. Oh, yeah.
Is she in a virtual reality horror game?
Remember that guy who won the lottery not too long ago? It was like a massive jackpot. I believe it was like $1 billion.
Really? Where was this?
It was in California.
You won $1 billion?
It was close to it.
Fuck.
Yeah, look that up real quick because guess what he did? Very weird. He gets this money, right? And then he starts buying up plots of land in the Palisades.
Well, the lottery's rigged.
The lottery's rigged. He was buying up plots of land. And then there was a mystery investor from Europe buying plots of land too.
Fake news, man.
Man.
Mystery investor?
Yeah, they don't know. It's probably through a company. They were saying that this mystery investor was buying up land through LLCs.
BlackRock.
Right.
Telling you.
They just sent their little one of their family members to go buy some land.
Yeah. And that's the thing, the lottery, how is it that a lot of lottery winners are actually federal workers or they have some type of federal ties? Not all of them, but a majority of them. They're saying a lot of them who actually win the lottery actually have government ties.
They're just taking their turns at this point. Like, oh, it's Mr. Johnson, it's your turn to win the lottery now.
Yeah, basically.
And, like, it's really like that.
They automated. All that shit's automated.
Yeah, the fact that, you know, if you look at who wins every time, really think about it. Who wins every time when the lottery happens? The IRS, the government, taxes.
Wow, this guy, this guy, Edwin Castro, he's the guy that won a $2.4 billion Powerball jackpot. And he said he netted about $600 million after taxes.
Damn.
It's California.
That's crazy.
California.
See, it's a racket.
It's a racket. Look, we don't get this paper. And all the property, he bought hella plots in Altadena.
See, there you go. Altadena, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's the other place got burnt up.
Yeah.
So you just conveniently buy all these places? Like, come on.
I mean, look,
nah.
I ain't shaking the stick at 600 mil, but out of $2 billion, that you didn't give me half?
Yeah, that's crazy.
We got
Welcome to California. Failed state.
Shit, I can tell you what that is right there. That's black mold. It finally came alive on your ass, huh?
Have you ever looked at the genetics of highly talented people? There's a lot of folklore out there that there are people who are psychic who come from psychic families. This was a couple of years ago. We decided to do an experiment where we recruit 3,000 people who say that they're psychic from psychic families. And then we do all kinds of vetting to make sure that they are who they say they are, and they have some talent, and we get their DNA. We only had enough money to find, out of the 3,000 people, 13. So we get their DNA. Then we find match controls, and we do standard methods of comparing the two sets of genomes. And so we found something that we didn't expect, which was the psychics were all so-called wild type. They didn't have any unusual things happening in their DNA. The controls had a significant effect in an intron sequence. It's the thing between the genes. These controls had a mutation in their intron sequence. So they were turning something off. We still don't know exactly what. And so one of the people on our project was a specialist in the genetics of societies. And he found that countries that were exposed to Christianity, the longer they were exposed, the more this intron sequence was there, the mutation. Started thinking, well, how does that make any sense? And then suddenly we understood. The Inquisition had systematically looked for people over hundreds of years who had these abilities, and then they killed them. You think about this is a non-evolutionary method, but nevertheless a pruning of a portion of humanity. So they were getting rid of people who had this, and what were left over were the people who had this no psychic stuff at all. Eugenics in an opposite direction, where they weren't trying to pull people for talent, but get rid of the talent. And you can see it in the genome.
All right. There's a bunker with this parasite coming out of his mouth. I never saw these until about maybe 3 years ago. And now every bunker has one. They all have that coming out of their mouth.
I just found something absolutely fucking insane. This is a pineapple with ribbon wrapped around it with a name written on this paper, and then I opened up the papers. It's photos, and there's like semen on it. It's a binding or a love spell or something.
And who did witchcraft on your feet, bro?
Hey, DMV, what's this, man? What is this that fell beside my car, man? Look like it came out the sky, man. Look. Like, what is this?
What the fuck is this, man? You see this shit sizzling? You see it sizzling? Like,
And it's
like,
boiling.
Look what I put my... No, the fuck it's not, man. Look.
Look at this.
Look, I'm pushing on it.
This is crazy.
This is not hell, man. In one spot, nowhere else. Out here. It just landed right here only. And this joint was smoking crazy, made us come out.
July 4th is when it happened the first time. The first time, I will tell you, it felt more like a dream because it was induced through lucid dreaming. I was having a dream. I realized like, oh, this is a dream. I can go out of body. And when I uttered those words, I guess in my head, in my dream, I felt myself being thrown with such force that it caused a large whooshing sound in the side of my ears, and everything went black. I felt like I was floating. I felt weightless, like I was kind of floating in darkness. And I tried to pry my eyes open. Now, this is something that happened to me on my first out-of-body experience where I had to try and open my eyes because I couldn't see anything. And then I peeled my eyes open. And to my shock, I was staring at what can only be described as these giant megalithic, round-edged stone cubes that were dark and black and were churning within one another. All right, this sounds insane. I remember just thinking of my body, wiggling my fingers, and I slam back in my body and I wake up.
That's why they don't arrest the drug dealers. Because if they arrest the drug dealers, the drug zombies leave. So they know who the drug dealers are. They don't arrest them on purpose. Otherwise, the drug zombies would leave and they would stop getting money from the state of California and from all the charities.
Is that real? So they're in coordination with law enforcement? How do they have those meetings?
They're all in cahoots. This is a diabolical scam. San Francisco's got this gross receipts tax. It's not even on revenue, it's on all transactions, which is why Stripe and Square, a whole bunch of financial companies had to move out of San Francisco because it wasn't a tax on revenue, it's a tax on transactions. Trillions of dollars transactions. It's not revenue. You're taxed on any money going through the system in San Francisco. Like Jack Dorsey pointed this out. He had to move Square from San Francisco to Oakland, I think. Stripe had to move from San Francisco to South San Francisco, a different city. And that money goes to the homeless industrial complex, that tax that was passed.
You done?
See you later. Hooray! Let's have some fun. Music jammer. See you later.
Nope.
Come on, let's play.
Nope.
Music jammer.
Nope.
Touch and learn. Let's learn about music. Bye bye.
Last time. Love of God. This is not what you think it is. Frozen dairy dessert. Now, why do they say that? Because it's not ice cream legally. They can't put ice cream on here. So they have to put a replacement that says frozen dairy dessert. Does that make sense? Guys, please do not think you're eating ice cream when you're eating something else that probably doesn't melt at all. Frozen dairy dessert isn't ice cream. And another little lovely trick they like to do is give you the delusion of choice, where all this stuff seems like a different choice, but it's all owned by BlackRock. And here's the thing, they throw this word around a lot, organic, right? But what's organic about any of this? Like silicon dioxide. Then you have sodium phosphate, and I'll put that on the screen, and what that does, it's a highly toxic additives. So throwing around this word means nothing. It'll take you a little longer, but read your labels, guys. It's worth it.
The Mormon Church made $25 billion in profits in the market last year. And guess what that is? Untaxed, because they're a church. They gave away $400 million to humanitarian aid.
Oh, that's good.
That's 2% of their profits. They demand their congregants give them 10%, and they keep 98% and put it back in the market. They'll hit $1 trillion in market assets in the next 15 years. A church. And again, every religious institution in the U.S. is set up like this.
When you go to 7-Eleven, get a soda or a Slurpee and take a sip and realize you don't want no more, what you think they do with the cup? They wash it with hand soap, and they put it right back. Nasty motherfuckers.
And you know what to do now.
Are there demonic forces playing out that are driving some of the conflict?
We would not call them demonic, but you have been asked to label them as demonic. And one of the things that you are often encouraged to do with demonic forces is not to figure out how to defeat the demonic forces, but instead to be in fear of them. In fact, even this that is happening right now, there will be those who will accuse Lee of channeling demonic forces. And that is part of the script that you were all fed in order to get you away from exploring your wider reality. And that is fine, but the demonic forces do not see themselves as demonic, but they are here for resources. So they do not have compassion or care for humanity or any species on Earth. They are here for the resource of Earth. There is a, we will call it, fight between many different groups for control of Earth. It is not one. So any of you who are out there thinking there is one group that you all need to be afraid of, no, there are multiple vying for control. And the positive of this is, in many ways, they annihilate each other. So this is why it will look very dark for a short period of time, or very dark things might play out for several weeks or even months. And many of you will think, now we are doomed. But you will see during these coming years that things will get circumvented. Things will change very fast. Something that looked very, very, very troubling for all of you. We're not saying it will not wreak havoc or cause some damage, but it will switch. Such is the nature of energy now, because Earth is not supposed to go down a backwards dark path. And there are enough benevolent forces galactically that will not allow that to happen.
I think people want to feel the presence of a galactic force guiding Earth in its process of evolution, meaning we're recording this at a time where it feels like we're on the brink of a World War III, and everyone is terrified for that. And when I hear this darkness is playing out, I imagine that so many people are seeing what's happening and worried about this escalation. Can you talk about some of the support that is available trying to help humanity move towards a higher timeline, something that has more openness, connectivity? How do people maintain hope right now that there is a brighter future?
Well, there is a frequency war playing out on Earth, and in fact, World War III could have taken place in 2011, 2016, 2021, and 2025. And what you are seeing right now, because this is what you have to understand, the amount of you that can be encouraged to fear World War III are the amount that will help make it happen. You see, you have to get people on board. This is the part that is hard to explain. We understand that when you are human beings looking at this through your single focus, you tend to see a world where you think you are being ushered through all of these things, whether you like it or not. But actually, it is collective consciousness that will both help create or help divert away from that kind of war. So yes, there are cultures and beings on Earth that are still playing out old, archaic darkness. Slavery is essentially what's at the root of it. The idea of enslaving others, the idea of using others and their energy as a resource rather than as a sovereign soul that you are in relationship to, that is at the heart of all of this. And so right now, why World War III is very appealing to some of the powers that be is they can get control of the people. So if a world war breaks out, then it helps them put in place the control systems they would like to see, so that essentially slavery can become a slightly more, shall we say, appealing or hidden facet in your society. You won't know that's what's going on, but we would argue that's already happening on some level. But there are enough who are now awake who are not only building a different future, but there are many strong, or what we would call activists, who are also very activated now. And they are intelligent, and they are beings who have sat across the table from these warlords in other lifetimes. So they are not afraid of them. In fact, they know exactly who they are. And in this lifetime, they have chosen a different path, and they have chosen to work on behalf of the light. So there are many, many souls who are ushering in the opposite to World War III. But you are correct that World War III is a desired outcome for many. What we will say is war brings profit, resource, and power. And those are three things that these beings who drive forward are most interested in, which is why it is also important that your people wake up more and more to see this. And we understand, as hard as things have been, we will say particularly since 2020, as hard as things have been to go through, it has become very clear from our perspective.
It's fun until one of them moves.
Now I got signal.
No, you don't need signal to take a video.
No, I'm just saying. I already got
Look at this shit out. We're in the middle of the ocean, and look at this. What do you call this?
That's a Stargate.
Portal.
And there's a sound coming from it.
Check this out.
Bro, look at what's coming out.
Oh, mira, Charlie me acaba de mandar un mensaje.
Oh, no shit.
Look at that. You know what? Like you can see the whole thing in the bucket. Don't fuck it.
What the fuck was that?
There's a cloud.
Nah, ain't no fucking cloud.
Nah, man, no estaba recording.
So much.
Look at the bird come out. The bird fucking came out of nowhere. Where the fuck did the bird come out?
What is this? What is this? We're in the middle of the ocean. What is this? A rainbow in the ocean?
A white rainbow.
This is crazy. What do you call this?
First time we've seen the fucking sky all day.
Wow.
You tell me it's Jesus? Bro, that shit's weird, bro. Duh.
Let's go through it.
Yeah.
Let's go through it, yeah. Follow the light. But no.
No, cool.
Did you get signal with it?
Yeah.
Can you send a message?
Yeah.
Oh, I got.
Oh, I got 5G.
How is that?
My message went through. Here, you want to call your girl?
No.
Okay. You want to call her?
Went down? Yeah. The surf or the what? No, the result. So you want to check it on the video review? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gigante is requesting a video review to check if the ball went through the net.
At first, fans thought it was a mistake, maybe a misunderstanding in the chaos of a fast rally. But when officials rolled the replay, the stadium went silent.
Yeah, okay, it's okay. It's okay, I'm fine with that. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the return of Diallo went through the net. Cord is overturned.
The footage clearly shows Diallo's return piercing through the net cord as though the strings weren't even there.
This is how I get out of the building. I press the button. I wait for the door open. And then the corner is a very steep slope. Thank goodness for the railing. This is really steep. on that side of the road.
Show me that they connect their heart to it, and then they would float it up. They're like, okay, now you do it. So I would connect my heart to this block, I would float it up, and then they'd like move the block across the platform. So I would do that, and then when I would achieve success, they'd be excited. Next time I was there, it's like, okay, now you're gonna float yourself and the block, right? And move you and the block across these platforms. And so I did it. They were excited, and then wake up again. And this kept happening. And it wasn't like each night it happened. It was sporadic. Like it would happen once, and like a week and a half later it would happen, and it would just happen whenever it happened. Then it started happening where I would just be in meditation, and I'd be meditating, and boom, I'm in this space. And over time, as I was acclimating to the energy of this place, it started going from it being like, you know, a dream in a floating city to now, as I'm going up there, I'm like, this is very obviously a craft. I'm on a light ship, and the beings that were blue glowing beings, and this is why I felt like I was being like groomed, sort of, because they were blue glowing beings. That wasn't scary. I was just, you know, I didn't understand that they were ETs, but after time, they started coming into view. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously an extraterrestrial. We're on a ship. They were explaining to me that I was going through a training process, that they were showing me how to develop my light body, and that this is how they do this with humans. And they continue to bring me up there and teach me telepathy, how to work with my Merkaba, how to work with the ship. So after a while, the ship has its own sentience, and you communicate with the ship telepathically. There's no like, you know, there's not like they're not flying it, they just communicate with it and it moves around. And so they show me how to operate the ship, how to operate, you know, my consciousness in different ways. And there's all these different, I could go on for hours about all the technologies that they have there. But the importance of it was they were teaching me how to get to them and how to communicate with them. And I didn't understand why until they told me like, okay, well, now that we've trained you, now you're ready to help the other humans. Now you can bring them up to us. Remember how you floated yourself in the block and you brought them, you moved it across the platform. Now you can connect to other souls and bring them up into the ship and make contact with us the same way that you did. And that we're here to continue to train humanity because there's this awakening happening where all the humans are gonna realize that we're here and they're gonna need access to us. And so this is how they're gonna gain access, is through you and other selected humans that have been going through this process. And so, you know, after a while, this turned into now facilitating and training others. It was trained very much like a martial art or like a gym, where it's like you're exercising your light body and it grows and it develops and it gets stronger, and the more you use it, the more it grows. And so that was really, really significant in my journey because that led me to where I am today.
So many different stories, right? And so many different beings.
Go inside and investigate. Don't forget to split up to cover more ground.
So there's a process that's actually legal in many states. It's called sewage to tap. It is a process to where they take the sewage water, like waste, and they refine it, and then it goes through a whole process, basically recycled water, and it comes back to your tap.
When you flush, it flows through a pipe and into a basin underground. From here, it meets up with a water treatment plant, where the sewage undergoes a process called water reclamation. This process removes large solids and uses bacteria to break down any other organic matter. It's then filtered and disinfected using ultraviolet light. And once it has met the standards for drinking water, it's sent right back up to your tap for you to enjoy.
So shit water. Wow. So this is in many states. It's in Texas, California, Virginia. It's in many, like 25 states.
Is it in Maryland? If it's in Maryland, did you hear about the kid, or did you see the kid that was on the amusement ride, and then the water he was in was like shit water?
Yeah.
What? Did you see that?
Now, they're saying that the fresh produce that you're getting this cyclospora parasite, right? Now you have to get organic produce because they're spraying the produce with this water. So if you get organic, then they're spraying it with fresh water. It's a different, irrigation system altogether. Got another super chat. 1999 Red Nose says, I used to work for the water company in the DMV. We had a big dookie spill.
How do you have a dookie spill?
That's
who's dookie?
I don't. Everybody's
everybody's dookie.
Like if they work for the water company, because I'm saying the sewage to tap has to do with the irrigation system. Like everybody's waste is all together.
Congratulations, you fucked my coffee up.
And then everybody they run it through a system. Have you seen those plants where they actually run through? They're recycling the water essentially.
Ask me the movie.
I don't want to know.
Well, I don't even want to know this movie. It's a huge movie too. Huge and dookie. I'm not. Yeah. Dune. Yeah, I never seen that.
Oh, I thought you meant Doom. You said Dune.
Dune.
Okay.
They had bodysuits that literally recycled their own water over and over. So your sweat, your feces, like all of that. The suit would suck all that up, and it would feed it back to you. And they had a tube that they had attached to the suit, and they could just drink their own shit. So.
What?
I am actually on site at this facility, this new 15-minute city that they're building. And as I told you guys in the previous post, I own a trucking company, and my purpose of being here is that we deliver the lighting for this place. And this is how I learned that this place actually existed. So these are the lights that I bring here every week, twice a week, for this monstrosity of a complex. So it's just not, I'm getting pictures from somebody else. This is actually a real place that I'm at. This is in Frisco, Texas.
Do you believe in God?
Everything you know is not because of a scientific theory. Whatever reality is, infinitely transcends what science could do. At some point in your life when you were 2, someone said, Jesse, that's green. And you looked and you go, oh, okay, that's green. Someone pointed to a rabbit and said, that's a rabbit. And if you think about what went on there, it's a miracle. What could you possibly mean by rabbit? And yet at the right age, someone points, says rabbit, just once or twice is all you need typically, and you get it. This is called learning by ostensive definition. So I'm going to use ostensive definition. Here's what I think God is. Ask yourself the question, I wonder what my next thought will be, and then just wait. What happened?
It was sort of silent for a little bit.
That's the best pointer I can give for what I mean by God. What I'm pointing to is just the raw awareness in which all these things arise. Colors, the sounds, the emotions, the thoughts. That awareness is what I think is God, and it cannot be described.
But I'm looking at your shirt and I'm looking at the chair, and there are all these things that I have superimposed ideas about, but it's impossible for me to strip my preconceptions about those things while I'm processing them.
Someone like the Dalai Lama might be able to, right? Someone who has been spending years in meditation would be able to say, I can just be and no content. I think it's accessible to all of us, but it's something that requires practice to let go.
Okay, they have tiramisu, they have carrot cake, they have pastries, and then I look over here. What? I'm not supposed to see that. I thought this was homemade.
Wait till you find out every restaurant gets their food from one place.
That way, let's say you're the observer in the Matrix, right? And then you fall asleep while you're driving and you hit the ditch. Well, the Matrix doesn't want to waste all of that processing energy that it had for 50 years.
Right.
So then it just moves you to the next timeline over. And then now you're just like, well, you woke up and then swerve back into your lane.
Right.
But in that one where you drove in the ditch, that still exists for everyone else who was in that, right? So now they go to your funeral, yeah, right? But in your mind, you just swerved back onto the highway and just kept on going. Because why waste all that processing? You know what I mean? It didn't end with you turning 99 and passing away in your living room. You know what I'm saying? Like that those other 40 something years need to be accounted for. You know, it's a lot of wasted energy.
So what if UFOs aren't spaceships, and what if ghosts aren't
unalived people?
Right.
What if cryptids aren't undiscovered, animals? All these things, tied together and could be something totally, totally different. So, and are all tied together at the same time rather than being separate entities of themselves.
Right.
So,
well, and that brings back, like we talk about the panda bears, right? The panda bears didn't exist until in this timeline, everyone remembered panda bears. So then the Matrix had to render a panda bear.
Yeah.
What if everybody consciously believes that there's a Bigfoot? So the Matrix is like, haha, Bigfoot. And then the agents of the Matrix are like, no, stupid, there's no Bigfoot. And then takes it back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like our subconscious collective creates the thing because we all believe it exists.
Right. Like an AI is overseeing everything and says, oh, this must exist because so many people believe in it. So it goes ahead and puts it in the code. But then
the agent programs
like, that are
no. You can't. No. So Mr. Smith shows up and he's like, delete. No. So that's why the Bigfoot is strolling through the forest and then it walks up to a tree and just disappears.
The rabbit holes we go down.
Yeah. Right.
Do rabbits exist?
Yeah.
What if
rabbits are the agents?
¿Y los pines que tiene? Esos son los tarjetas de salir de cárcel. ¿En serio? Como en el
No
Monopoly.
puedo hablar tan de eso, pero es como backup plan.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Pero porque te dan un estatus y tú puedes salir con...
No puedo hablar de eso.
Vale,
En live. Puedo decir después de live.
Okay.
It was a man who was an experiencer on some level. So he's in bed one night. These two hybrid females appear in his room. How does that work? And they basically rape him, both of them. He's paralyzed, he can't move, but they rape him.
Wow.
And the next morning he wakes up and he's having trouble urinating. And he notices that there are two blondish hairs because these entities were very alien looking, big black eyes, long blonde hair, but they were obviously females. And he has the presence of mind of taking the hair and getting it analyzed.
Wow.
And this is hard science. We took the hair from basically a 2,000-year-old mummy from the Paracas skulls. It was a piece of red hair. We unwrapped that mummy skull in Paracas. Jeez. We did the carbon-14 dating on it. It's 1,935 years old. We had the hair analyzed. We also had the DNA analyzed in 3 different labs. The DNA came back U2E1, which is Eastern European. It's not contaminated. There's 3 different samples to 3 different labs. There's no collusion between the labs. U2E1. Gee, I wonder what that is. That's Eastern European. That rewrites history as we know it. But the academics don't like that. Oh, it's all contaminated. Well, if it's all contaminated, why didn't we get nuclear DNA from us? We took my DNA samples and other people's DNA samples, and nothing matches. And our protocols were above board. But anyway, I digress. So we have the hair sample from the Paracas mummy skull. We have the hair sample from the man who was raped by these 2 blonde, you could call them Nordics, but they're hybrids. They're not entirely human. And we analyze them, Raman spectroscopy. This is where it gets interesting. And there's a graph. So you take a normal human hair and it kind of goes like this. All right, that's what it is. You take a dyed human hair and it goes like this and goes up through the roof. You take the mummy, the red hair from the mummy, and the white hair from the man who found it on him, and they go like this.
Wow.
They trace just like that.
Identical.
And he wrote a paper on this. This ties into our work on the Nephilim, like the days of Noah. Their seed will mingle with the seed of men. So here we have this entity, and it's not human. You can say what you want. The foramen magnum is pushed all the way to the posterior of the skull. That's not normal. It's elongated. The eye sockets are 20% larger. It's got kind of reddish hair. The DNA puts it in Eastern Europe. That rewrites history. So what we're looking at, in my opinion, are the remnants of a Nephilim, which were in Peru.
clone. You feel me? I just ain't want to tell TikTok, because TikTok, they'll try to ban me for this. But y'all gotta understand why I went to Russia, bro. Like, y'all gotta understand. Nigga, the person before me wouldn't have been making those, songs on TikTok, singing to it like this. Nigga was doing straight pranks. Feel me? So if y'all don't believe me, y'all don't have to believe me. I'm telling y'all right now.
That might be true. He didn't blink even once.
My question to you is, how do we explain to people without scaring them that we are living in an actual computer?
Because I don't think you understand. You're not living in the computer. You live outside of the computer. You are trapped inside the computer, but you can get out. When you say one thing, you
so when you say get out, you mean transcend.
Yeah, you're through consciousness. Just like you said, the fly at the beginning. That's why I asked you the question about the fly at the beginning, right? The fly becomes aware. Awareness is a way to lead assimilation, right? Awareness, but a lot of people got different tricks, but these beings, why do they not want to leave the simulation? Why they just don't want to leave if it's better outside of this?
All right, now, I'll go back to Joe McGonigal. He said that when he remote viewed the ancient race in Mars, he said they couldn't figure out how to get out. So they was going to go to a nearby planet, which is Earth. They was 1 million years older than us and couldn't figure out how to get out. And as I continue to study and I cross-reference information, if you can go into one dimension and travel there, you can cross light years in seconds.
Right.
That's why when people take videos of UFOs, there's like this bubble of energy around it and it never looks clear. This is why. This is also why there's a town in Alaska where 30,000 people disappeared overnight. Food still on the table, fire still burning. They was able to transcend and go to the next dimension. Just like when you go to Teotihuacan in Mexico, they're like, man, whoever built this seemed to have just built it and left. Somehow they was able to channel some energy with hive-minded focus and step out of this realm into the next. Because when I went to Native American tribes on their plantations, the Clovis people always say that they came out of a hole in the sky and landed, and they walked into this realm. And they walked into this realm.
Right.
This is all about transcendence. That's why they put fluoride in our toothpaste, because fluoride calcifies the pineal gland.
Right.
If you look all through ancient texts, the pine cone is the most powerful tool, and they got it everywhere. When I walk up the stairs in your house, the top of the stairs,
right,
it's pine. They leave little hidden messages like this because that's the trick in the game.
Right.
You gotta leave hints in order to work your magic here.
Right.
And it's dark, it's spooky, but it's all about challenging it, facing it. And then you gotta really build yourself up.
Right.
On a mental level, spiritual level, physical level. Because without that, you can't transcend into the metaphysical.
Right.
You'll be stuck in this matrix.
Right.
What when they turn the people into pigs? That's all real.
What do you mean?
That's what I mean.
I know.
Exactly.
That is a
It's not
practical
CG.
effect.
Are they really trying to convince us that the turning the men into pigs scene was completely done without CGI?
Without giving anything away, there's a scene that I do that people cannot believe is not CGI.
What kind of voodoo magic does Christopher Nolan put into his movies to be able to do like that?
If Chris keeps it up, we might just have to start calling him a
professional magician.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.